Thank you so much to everybody for attending tonight or whatever time zone you're in. Haiyi Zhu is on the line. Haiyi directs the undergraduate major in human computer interaction, and she's going to tell you all about the major and also all about the field at large. In addition, we have Ashveen on the line. Ashveen is a senior, and she is a human computer interaction major, so she'll be able to answer questions about what that experience is like for her. And then we also have Tom Cortina on the line. He is Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs. He'll primarily be answering questions in the Q&A, and he is always immensely helpful when it comes to answering any questions that come in. And then I am Emily. I lead the marketing and communications team at the School of Computer Science, and I'm thrilled that you're all here. So I will turn it over to Haiyi to get started.
Thank you, Emily. Let me share my screen. Can people see my screen? Good. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Haiyi Zhu. I am the Daniel Swarrick Associate Professor of Human-Computer Interaction. I'm also the Director of the HCI undergraduate programs at Carnegie Mellon University. Today, I'm going to talk about our HCI Human-Computer Interaction major. So a lot of people ask me, like, what do you do? I said that I study human-computer interaction, which is HCI. The next question is, what is HCI? So HCI is an interdisciplinary research area. Actually, unlike most of the computer science, which is about computation and the computer itself, HCI and the full name, Human-Computer Interaction, is about computers and people. HCI is a field of study that focuses on the design, development, and study of computational technology in all aspects of life. Another way to put it, while most of the computer science domain focus on developing new algorithms and systems, and HCI is about ensuring that the algorithm, the system, once introduced into the complex, the human world, the social context, the social world, our society, how to ensure that they achieve the desired outcomes. Another way to put it, maybe, yeah, the computer scientist develops the algorithm for large language model, for search algorithms. But HCI people think about, yeah, what is the next Google search engine? What is the next ChatGPT? So a brief history about HCI and HCII, which is the department about HCI at Carnegie Mellon University. So HCI, this field, is tied closely with CMU, Carnegie Mellon University. Actually, the very first book that coined the term human-computer interaction was written by three key founders in HCI, and one of them is Alan Newell. And actually, today's HCI Institute is still in New Simon Hall, which is named after this founder of HCI. And our department, Human Computer Interaction Institute, was founded in mid-1990s. And from the day one, we are interdisciplinary. We were founded by a group of designers, behavioral scientists, psychologists, social psychologists, cognitive psychologists, and computer scientists. And CMU's HCI programs offers the first master's program in HCI in the world, first PhD programs in HCI, and first additional major and minor in HCI, and now the first primary major in HCI. And I can say that, yeah, we are the best in the world in HCI. And we also publish a lot of work and publish most Chi papers, which is the top HCI conferences across all the academic institutions. And we have so many like Chi lifetime achievement, which is the highest honor in HCI field. So the field of HCI is really, yeah, very closely like developed with the growth of CMU, and CMU is one of the best in the world in HCI. So next, I'm going to give you some concrete examples of HCI projects. And actually, these projects are some of the HCI research conducted by faculty and students at CMU. I will showcase these HCI research examples because these examples can be seen as projects to further illustrate what HCI is and also showcase some potential directions for the field's future. So, a lot of HCI researchers are thinking about, yeah, what is the next interaction techniques? With devices becoming increasingly compact and powerful, easily carried with us, we HCI researchers and practitioners pose the question, hey, what if the entire world around us could be interactive? So on the left is a skin input project and demonstrating that the potential of using our skin as an input service, and which is much larger than smartphone. Smartphone is so constrained that you only have a very small interface to interact with. But what if all your skins on your arms could be used as interactive surface? And on the right is another project about how we can use cheap materials such as conductive paint to create new smart walls that may enable users to place or move light switches or control anywhere on, a wall, or on the wall that is convenient for people, or even control video games by using different gestures. So I'm going to play a video about the skin input project, the one on the left. Let me see if the video could work. Okay.
Hi, I'm Chris Harrison. Advances in electronics have allowed mobile devices to become very small, so much so they could benefit greatly from having extra surface area available for interaction. However, we don't want to carry around extra surfaces, especially for input. In my research, I think about clever ways to appropriate surfaces that are already around us, like tables and walls. In this video, I'm going to talk about skinput, a bioacoustic sensing technology that allows our body to be used as a large finger input surface, which doesn't require any electronics to be placed on the skin. When a finger taps the skin, the impact creates an ensemble of useful acoustic signals. When slowed down 14 times, we can see transverse waves on the skin's surface. However, complex longitudinal waveforms also propagate through the body. To capture these signals, we developed a special-purpose bioacoustic sensing array. Variations in bone density, size, and mass, as well as filtering effects from soft tissues and joints, mean different locations are acoustically distinct. Software we developed listens for impacts and classifies them. Different interactive capabilities can be bound to different locations. Here we see a user playing a game of Tetris using their fingers as a control pad. In our prototype system, we chose to focus on input for the arms and hands, and developed an armband for sensing. In our user study, we evaluated several input location sets, which demonstrated our approach could achieve accuracies as high as 95.5% for 5 locations, a sufficient number of buttons for many mobile interactions. Segmenting purposeful input from false positives is robust and remains functional while walking and jogging. Many uses are possible. Consider, for example, an audio player strapped to the arm, which could be controlled by taps to one's fingers. It is also possible to incorporate a pico projector into the armband already situated on the upper arm. This allows for not only sensing, but also projection of a dynamic graphical interface. Here, the system renders a series of buttons on the wearer's forearm. Users can simply click the desired function with their finger. This interface is hierarchical, allowing the user to access a wide range of potential functionality. As you can see, finger inputs are segmented and classified in real time. Alternatively, we developed a scrolling-based interface. Here, the user taps on the top or bottom of their forearm to slide the selection up or down one item respectively. The selected item can be activated by tapping on the center of the forearm. To go backwards in the interface hierarchy, users can simply perform a pinching gesture with their thumb and forefinger.
Okay, so that's a skin input project. It showcases one of the possible future might look like. And let's see. Okay, so the next project and or example, I'm going to showcase how HCI researchers actually push the boundaries of new technology design by actually creating new methods. Note that the new technologies oftentimes raise questions about how to appropriately design them to maximize the benefits and minimize harms. And usually, design of these complex technologies, oftentimes, you have to imagine the scenarios that where they do not yet exist and there is no existing social norms are established. And our design researchers in HCI Institute and design different research method and design methods. For example, some of these methods allow designers in understanding and prototyping real-world interactions with intelligent systems by allowing designers to become the machine, to be a wizard of Oz, to observing in-context user behaviors and testing new interaction concepts, and to see how the users will actually react to the different new design, like interactive systems and intelligent systems. And we are also looking at how emerging technologies like AR, VR systems can be used to integrate it in different, for example, educational systems to make them actually useful. So this is another example. HCI researchers and want to see that how the AR, VR technologies can be used to advance societal goals, such as improving K-12 education. And this is a project demonstrating that we can provide teachers with a mixed reality tool, actually mixed reality glasses, powered by learning analytics and allowing them to better understand what students are doing when they are working on the intelligent tutoring softwares in classroom. And with this tool, the teachers can see the floating emojis that indicate whether students are doing really well, or they are feeling confused, or they are not paying attention at all. So you can see some of these. Maybe some students are not, maybe are taking a nap and not focusing on their task at all. So this enables teachers to allocate their attentions accordingly and ultimately resulting in improved student learning. I'm also going to talk a little bit about my own research. I am a tenure track professor in HCI, so my research at a high level is about how AI technologies are integrated and should be integrated in social systems. By social systems, I mean groups, communities, organizations, our market, our societies. I study how the integration of AI technologies into the various aspects of social groups and communities and how we could make sure that they enhance, automate, or optimize social processes, interactions, or decision making. So this might seem to be a little bit abstract. I will showcase one concrete example. For example, one of the projects we are doing recently is about building virtual patients using large language model to deliver experiential training for mental health providers. So learning how to become a better therapist is not easy, and actually therapists need a lot of practice. But also, while people are still learning the important skills, we do not want them to actually harm some real patients. So what we do is we create a safe training environment, and we use large language model to create a lot of simulated patients with a wide range of mental health problems. They might have depression, anxiety, they might have suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideas. And then we create a large group of different kinds of virtual patients and allow the trainees and the mental health novice providers and to practice with this virtual patient and getting feedback to improve their skills before they interact with real patients. So this is a project actually sponsored by National Institution of Mental Health. We're also actually developing some interesting new project. For example, what if we create a pair of couple agents so they can simulate two couples who are fighting with each other. So this is actually has both these practical implications and use cases, and also can advance our understanding and our theories about how to designing these multi-agent systems. So hopefully all of these research projects give people some idea about what HCI is. So HCI is about people and computers. HCI is about designing these novel interactive digital and computational services and systems that can benefit people. And we also study how these interactive computational systems and services influence and impact people. Our HCI undergraduate program focuses on education, and our vision for the HCI undergraduate education is to train our students to help our students actually become HCI specialists who can design and develop innovative technologies that benefit human. So now I'm going to talk a little bit more about education, not just research. So this is our mission statement, and we want to help our students to become the next generations of computational technologists who can design these innovative technologies that can benefit humans. And we teach you how to design these innovative services and computational systems. And because I only have a few, like maybe 40 minutes today, so I'm not going to teach you, yeah, give you very long lectures about what we teach students. But at a high level, yeah, across many classes offered by HCRI at Carnegie Mellon University, we teach this human-centered design approach. And this is one of the most important things that we think in HCI practice, and that's also the most useful things for the HCI practitioners. So so I'm going to give you a very brief overview of what this human-centered design approach is. Hopefully you could get a little bit of idea of what you are going to get from the HCI undergraduate program. So the human-centered design approach could be roughly characterized by these two phases, designing the right thing and designing the things right. So the first phase, designing the right thing, is about we want to teach students how to identify the right problem to solve or the right question to ask. So oftentimes it's not, we see a lot of AI system, for example, fail just because actually the whole system was designed in a way that, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to, yeah. This. So the whole system actually failed because they were not designed to solve the right problem. So that's why the first phase we will teach students and how you are going to understand all of your users, the stakeholders' needs, and the actual challenges, and determine the right question to ask. And with the knowledge about what the right question is, the second phase is to designing things right. Sorry, I have to take this.
Cool. I can jump in here. So while Haiyi is sort of talking about this at a high level, I do want to emphasize that generally, one of the reasons that students are attracted to Carnegie Mellon is that we do take a very interdisciplinary approach to how we teach computer science. And I think that is especially true of the human computer interaction major. So for those of you who are interested in design, who are interested in behavioral and social sciences, in addition to computer science, this is very much sort of the nexus of all of those fields. And I'll let Haiyi keep going.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Emily. So, yeah, we're talking about the human-centered design approach, and then the phase one is to understand the problem, the right problem to solve. And then the phase two is about, designing the right solution. So for Facebook too, we teach students how to ensure that you can actually quickly come up with a lot of ideas. So that's a brainstorming and a divergent thinking, how to come up with a lot of solutions. And then how you are going to, we're also going to teach you how to refine this space and identify the right design directions to follow through, and how to create prototypes that can embed your design ideas, getting feedback, iterate on it. So yeah, basically in these two phases, we teach students how to collect data, how to synthesize the data and identify the right insights, asking the right question, how to ideate, and how to quickly prototype, iterate, and finally build the full system. So, of course, yeah, if you are at CMU HCI, you are going to learn a lot more than I just said, which was only 5 minutes quick intro. And we offer a wide range of actually HCI classes to make sure the students actually get acquire all these important skills. So let's see. Next thing I'm going to talk about, what programs we offer, what HCI programs we offer at CMU. So today I'm going to focus on the HCI primary major a little bit because I think, this is one of the webinar organized by the School of Computer Science. And HCI primary major is one of the 5 primary majors offered by School of Computer Science. And HCI primary major is only open to the students in the School of Computer Science. But in addition to primary major, we also offer HCI additional major. And the additional major is open to all the undergraduate college at CMU. So our HCI additional major, we have students from psychology, from design, from art, from English, almost any major on campus. And we have students apply to our HCI additional major program, and then we review the applications, and then we admit students to our HCI additional major. And we also offer HCI concentration and HCI minor. And HCI concentration and minor and the course load are similar, but HCI concentration is more technical and it is open to the School of Computer Science students. So for example, if you declare one of the other 4 majors in School of Computer Science, for example, if you are CS major, if you are AI major, you can also have a HCI concentration. And actually we have a lot of CS students declare HCI concentration. And finally, last but not least, we have HCI minor, which is open to all the students across the campus and all other colleges. So as you can see that, we offer students all the different opportunities to get HCI education. So maybe many of you come to the webinar interested in School of Computer Science, and then HCI is one of the 5 majors. I know this figure might be a little bit complicated, but actually, it showcases all the course requirements for the HCI major. And as we can see from this chart, so we share the CS core classes and the math and stats core classes with all the other 4 majors. So basically, as a student in School of Computer Science, you have to complete all the CS core classes and the math core classes. And in addition, you are going to take the HCI classes, and our HCI classes have these 4 major components, and you are going to take 2 HCI classes on research and evaluation, 2 HCI classes on technical HCI components, and for example, the students need to take a prototyping algorithmic experiences, we call it PACs, and software structures for user interfaces to teach you how to actually implement a interface. It could be a traditional interface, but also could be a conversational agent interface or AR/VR interface. So we are teaching you the skills how to develop a user interface. And students also have to take 2 design class one fundamental design class and one advanced design class. And students have the opportunity to take 4 HCI electives, and we have some requirements for the kind of electives. Hopefully, students have a balanced exposure to different kinds of HCI subfields. In their final semester, all of our primary major students will have this opportunity to do a capstone. So in this senior capstone project, the students in groups will work for a real-world client. And these clients, and they have their real-world problems, and we have students to follow the human-centered design process, to understand the problems, to collect user data, synthesize insights, and brainstorm a lot of different solutions and prototype solutions. And until the end, they're going to develop a full system to actually address clients' problems and issues and challenges. So this is a quick overview of our HCI primary major requirements. And of course, once you are come, and we will have our advisors who will walk through all these course requirements with you and have these advising sessions every semester to help you plan. So we'll make sure that all of our students actually get sufficient the support and advising throughout their undergraduate journey. So in addition to the private major, and if you are eventually get into one of the majors other than outside School of Computer Science, you will still have this opportunity to learn about HCI. And our HCI additional major is very popular. At CMU, as I mentioned, we have students from almost every single major on campus, and students still have to go through a application process. We just because of the cap, we cannot admit all the students who want to do HCI additional major, but we will try our best to accommodate students' requests. But yeah, we have this review process, so you have to submit their applications, and a lot of students actually before they submit, they take some they already take some HCI classes, and then have a study plan and showcase that they can actually do an additional major. So those will help their application. Those additional evidence could help their application. For our HCI additional major, students need to take 3 required class, 4 required HCI electives. And at the end, our additional major student will join the capstone project as well. So actually, our capstone class, we have both HCI primary major and additional major students. Another opportunity to get some HCI is doing HCI minor. HCI minor is also very popular, and compared to HCI additional major, HCI minor require fewer class. So students only need to take 2 required HCI class and 4 electives. And sometimes students are able to double count, for example, 1 or 2 electives with some of the classes they take from their own private major. So actually, HCI minor is is also an option and also quite a popular option among CMU students. And HCI concentration, like I mentioned earlier, is only open to the students in School of Computer Science. So, for example, if you are AI major, you are a CS major, computer bio major, robotics major, and you can take a HCI concentration. And HCI concentration requires 2 classes and 3 electives. I want to say a little bit more about the HCI capstone projects. And so our HCI capstone projects that happens in the spring semester of student senior year. And this is a great opportunities for students to apply all the skills and knowledges they have learned and into this scope of a single start to finish project. Focus on this digital innovation and working with real world clients. And our students, usually they work in an interdisciplinary team. As I mentioned, we have both primary major and additional majors. So students actually coming from a wide range of discipline backgrounds, and we will group students and interdisciplinary team, actually mimicking a real product team will look like, and have students who work on this project. So these are some example. For example, this is a capstone team working for Matrix Factory. Matrix Factory is a local art museum. And so because like each piece of their art is almost a full room, so it's a real challenge for them to create an archive of all the past exhibits and allow visitors to interact with them. So one of our capstone team work with Matrix Factory to use Microsoft Kinect to create a virtual experience for visitors to interact with the images from all the prior exhibits. So here is how you can see how they understand the problems and then create the prototype systems and then evaluate the prototype systems with users and finally implement the full system. And actually this year we have another team in doing a follow-up and creating a new mapping and wayfinding systems for the museum. So if you go to have the chance to visit Matrix Factory, you might still see some of the the system developed by our HCI students. This is another capstone project. In this project, we have students work for a client to design controls for a semi-autonomous orchard tractor. And the students went through the whole process of understanding users, the interviews all these drivers, and to understand the challenges they are currently facing, and then creating foam core prototypes to early 3D printed prototypes to finally the microcontroller and the field testing. So hopefully at this point, people have a little bit of idea about what HCI is. So why students want to study HCI, and based on our experience and our interactions and our teaching experience with students, and also our discussion with our friends in industry, we found that students who study HCI tend to be people who are really interested in real-world important problems. So if you are interested in important real-world problems, and not just the algorithm, the system itself, maybe HCI is a good field for you. And also, if you are interested in working with people and for people, and have a lot of creative expression and have a lot of creative ideas, want to express them, I want to embed them and communicate them, use your design, and HCI is a field for you. And also, if you want to work on the parts of systems that everyone can see, everyone is going to use, everyone going to interact with, and HCI is a field for you. And also, HCI is in great demand in industry, and HCI as a field is a good path towards being a project manager, a product managers, or entrepreneurs. We actually have a lot of our HCI primary major students after they graduate, they decide to start their own companies. And in terms of the hiring companies in the recent years, and this is a list of the companies, and also this is some of the example job titles. And our student you can see that many of our students have the job as software engineer, full stack engineer, frontline developers, and engineers. But I see HCI as an opportunity for students to sort of open up more new opportunities. Because we see students actually after they graduate have the titles like, maybe not a sort of a standard or typical computer scientist graduate would have. For example, the business analytics and designers and digital analytics, experience designers, product designers, UX designers, user experience designers, and usable privacy and security researchers, technology consultants. So yeah, we still have a lot of students like do software engineer, and but I think yeah, SCI opens up new opportunities for students. Before we start the Q&A, I want to briefly talk about the impact of modern AI and large language models on our education. So, interestingly, AI disproportionately impacting knowledge workers, and as AI grows more and more capable, and we see a challenge and opportunities to better prepare our next generation of workers and teach our students to leverage AI while also cultivating their distinct human capabilities and abilities. And CMU and HCI's role, we see that, yeah, especially HCI has a long history of actually dealing with like the human roles in computational systems and uniquely positioned in addressing today's AI challenges. So that's indeed what we are doing. And we have a lot of classes and really engaging with human and AI and AI and work. For example, we have these quite popular classes on campus, and actually a lot of students across all different majors trying to take it. And also these are actually design. These two classes are designing AI products and services and human AI interaction. So these classes, yeah, I'm teaching one of the classes. So we are actually aggressively updating course material every semester, and to ensure that we teach students how to both leveraging these AI tools and learn how to designing AI systems based on the most modern like AI techniques, but also cultivate like unique human capabilities and abilities. And we also have some special topic classes. For example, yeah, this is just a subset of the classes. And you can see that, yeah, we are offering classes on the AI augmented designers, augmenting intelligence, AI innovations in the healthcare sector, designing for the present and future of work, interactive extended realities. So and yeah, once you come to CMU, you will see that yeah, every semester HCI is basically developing new classes and offering yeah new classes on all sorts of the cutting edge topics. And I think that's all the content I have prepared.
Great. Thanks, Haiyi. I know a few questions have come in that Tom has already answered. A variety of them are sort of how do you express interest on the application? We definitely recommend if you are interested in HCI to incorporate that into your essay. You also there were questions around when you declare your major. So that is in the second semester of your first year. And I actually, to kind of add a little bit to that, I would love to ask Ashveen why you chose HCI.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Ashveen. I'm a senior here studying HCI. Why did I choose HCI? It was pretty serendipitous. I came in with the intention of becoming a comp bio major. That was actually what my whole like admissions essay was about. But I think I really quickly realized, like through the CS court, that like wow, that was really cool and challenging. I wanted something a little more applied. Like the theory wasn't like speaking to me very much. And I think HCI, as new as it was, spoke to me the most. I had the chance to speak to the director of the program at the time, and he told me all about the capstone projects everyone was doing, and they just seemed very grounded in like human applications. And so I think right after that, I was like, okay, I think this is for me. They do give you the option to take a mini, I believe, your second semester of your freshman year that kind of helps you gauge like what the field is about and see if you're interested in it at all. But I think after that discussion, I was just like, yep, I'm in, I'm all in. And since then, it's been really fulfilling. It's everything Haiyi says it was and more. I think what I love the most about it is just how flexible it is. You can become a software engineer if you want, and that is definitely a door that is open to you, but there's also so many other things that you can do with the degree. And I think just the vast variety of classes that are available to you as an HCI major, it's you don't get that experience anywhere else. And so that I think that's really why I chose and stayed in the major.
Great, thank you. And as Haiyi said, we can open it up to any additional questions. I know, Tom's been answering them in writing for folks, but we can also answer them out loud if any are coming in now. Um, I have to say that every once in a while, if I'm using an app and I'm thinking, why was it designed this way? If you're the type of person that is thinking, why was something designed this way? I would have done the user interface differently, or this user experience is a little clunky. Like the HCI is for you. This is what they think about day and night.
I did post,
Yeah, go ahead,
Emily,
Tom.
I did post one of the answers for a question that the student had, but it was more about like, all the majors we have, the five that we have, and HCI is one of them. They all have the same core CS and math. Sometimes students are worried that, well, if I do HCI, maybe I won't have the same sort of CS depth as a CS major. At least as far as the core goes, every one of the majors has the same core plus or minus one course. So so our HCI students, although they are doing design work and they're doing much more of these creative aspects and building interfaces very quickly and testing and doing all that kind of cool creative work, they can also be, as Ashveen said, they can also be software engineers and develop some really sophisticated code. There are HCI programs at some other universities where the coding and the computer science elements are significantly lighter. Within the School of Computer Science, the program kind of sits alongside all of the other majors we have, which have some pretty significant technical core. So HCI students here at CMU have that same core.
To add on to that, from like a person from the perspective of a student who is looking for like internships and jobs, I definitely haven't felt that like my major as an HCI major has been looked down upon or perceived as having like lower technical depth. I've interviewed for software engineer and AI engineering roles, so I wouldn't have that as a concern when applying to the program. Genuinely just go based off of your interests. CMU SCS is very well respected overall.
Good. I
There's,
also saw this question
yeah,
about.
you want to get that one? Hi, can you read the question for everyone?
Yes. So, how many years has lapsed since CMU started offering HCI? Is there a limit to the number of students that can enter into HCI? So, actually, we have our additional major for 20 years, I believe. So, it has been a really, really long time, our additional major in HCI. But we recently, but it's actually not that recent, in 2020, we started our HCI primary major. And in terms of the limit to the number of students that can enter into HCI, the limit I was mentioning actually earlier was the additional major. And our additional major, because any students on campus, regardless their primary major are, and they can apply to HCI additional major. But we have a lot of students interested in doing that, but we just because of the cap and or the limit the number of seats in all the core classes, we just cannot admit all the applicants to our HCI additional major. So every year we admit about 50% to 60%, and some occasionally 70% of our student applicants to our HCI additional major. So right now we have about 150 additional major students. So that has a little bit of limit, but HCI primary major really have no limit. We actually have a lot of space for our HCI primary major. So if you are school of computer science students and want to declare an HCI primary major, and in general, we don't have limit, right, Tom? So it's like it's basically up to your interest. And so if you're interested in AI, in CS, in compute bio, in HCI, you are going to get what you want. So there is basically for the school of computer science, no limit.
Right, our current policy is that if you if you're admitted in and enroll in the School of Computer Science at Carnegie Mellon, you're given the option of any of the five majors. And right now, we don't have a limit on any of them. If everyone wanted HCI, Haiyi and I would sit down, have a meeting, and figure out how to do it. We would do it.
Right, right.
But what ends up happening is the students do split up. Ashveen knows this when she was in the first year. They kind of get all the introduction to all the majors in our first year seminar, and there are some minis that students can take in the second semester to get a little taste of what each major is about. And then the students kind of spread out. And traditionally, historically, we've had a split that as we've been able to handle every year. It's been fine. But we're doing these webinars to make sure that when students are applying, they understand what all the options are that they have.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And for the HCI minor, by the way, yeah, it's like there is no limit. And if you want to get a HCI minor, yeah, you can get it. So only, yeah, thing that has a limit is actually HCI additional major.
So we have time for a few more questions if you want to post those in the Q&A. Ashveen, are you doing any minor or concentration or anything additionally, or are you just focusing on the HCI primary?
Just the HCI primary. I didn't solidify my interests until, I'm still solidifying my interests to be perfectly honest. And so
We all are,
I
Ashveen. We all are.
I didn't feel particularly inclined to concentrate or minor in anything. Because as soon as I would like settle on one thing, I'd take another class and be like, wait, I think like this is my true calling. And so like it was just a lot of back and forth. But I think that definitely speaks to the diversity of classes that are offered here. And so
Yeah. One of the things that we talk about since you mentioned that is here at CMU is when we have students coming in, there are some students who come in who are very laser focused on a particular area and they want to take every single course you could possibly think of in that area. We do encourage our students, oh, you need a primary major. The CS majors also require concentration or minor, but HCI does not require that. Uh, but we encourage our students to explore, and then Ashveen's a great example of that. Starting thinking about comp bio, and I think you took the intro comp bio course when you first
I
started. Did you go that
did
far?
I think I took like a couple weeks of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't complete it though.
That doesn't mean it's a great program and there's students who love
Yeah.
it, but you found a different path. You kind of found a path that was better for you. And we do allow, someone asked this in the questions and I had answered it. Students do select their major at the end of the second semester, but during their sophomore year, their second year, if they decide that there's a better fit for them within the School of Computer Science, we allow students to slide across from one major to another. And it's a very easy application process to do that before they really dive into the deeper, higher level courses. So we give the students an option. Not too many students do that. A few do, but we try to provide all the information to students in the first year if you get in, so that you can make a informed decision. Oh, the questions were great. The ones that came up, Emily, in the Q&A. And in the Common App, if you have an interest in HCI, you can write about that in the essays. There's a place where you can check off HCI. That doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get that major per se. You're just indicating an interest. And then when you come in, when we talk with you, then we'll give you information you need. And as you saw with Ashveen's case, you can explore others too, right? So it's not like walk in, you're locked in, you can't make any changes or you can't explore. You can. But it's a great major for students who have a little bit more of a creative bent. Not to say that our students aren't creative, all of them are. But if you have this little more creative gene where you want to do more design, you want to do more creation, more building, something that's a little bit more hands-on and applied, this is one of the majors we have that has more of that element in it. I'm always excited when I see Haiyi's examples. I'm like, wow, I can't believe someone thought of that. So it's those are the kinds of projects we always see coming out of the Human Computer Interaction Institute. Emily, you think we should tie it up and
Yeah, I think we're we have 9 minutes left, but if there are other questions, then we'll, give everybody back that time. But I just want to thank you all for attending, and Haiyi, thank you for your presentation, and Ashvin, thank you for talking a little bit about your experience as well, and Tom for answering all the questions. If anything else comes up, Tom, can you remind everybody what the SCS undergraduate email is?
I'm going to type it into the chat for
Okay,
everyone.
great.
It's SCS first year at andrew.cmu.edu. So this should show up in your chat. That should take us to us. And we just got a few more questions. Actually, before we wrap up, we had a few more just popped in. But that's the email address. You can also contact admissions. So if you contact our Office of Admissions, they will contact Emily and me, and we'll get you connected to the person who has the right answer. It's Haiyi, Ashveen, somebody who can answer your questions there. You don't need to. So one of the questions is about whether they actually you need to mention human computer interaction in the essays. You don't necessarily have to mention that phrase, that title, but if some of the examples you saw today or things like this are of interest to you, then you may want to describe that, or if you've done something in that space, something where you've done some design work or creative work like that, you may want to mention that at least, so that the folks in admissions kind of know how you might fit in to the School of Computer Science. So that's one question.
And
Go
then
ahead.
the next question is there any suggestion for the current seniors coming into SES to develop an interest in HCI and to get a head start? Haiyi, do you want to speak to that or Ashveen, whoever?
In terms of a head start, I mean, honestly, I feel like my advice to any current seniors is just to keep an open mind when you come in. And whatever experience you have, even if it doesn't directly tie into HCI, can still be relevant. So I wouldn't be worried about like, oh, I really need to do like XYZ thing in order to like, be ahead of the curve or to actually like, become like impressive in this field. The beautiful thing about HCI is that it can be applied to literally anything and everything. We have robots here that can paint. So even if you are an artist, there is a space for you in within the HCI Institute. And so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Keep an open mind and honestly just focus on like exploring as much as you can, getting a good breadth of experiences as you go through high school, as you go into undergrad. And I think that will put you in a perfect position to pursue the field.
Yeah. And I know I spoke about this a little bit earlier when I had to go off for a second. We One of the things that makes Carnegie Mellon broadly very special is that interdisciplinary nature of this university. And so there are a variety of SCS students who major in HCI, and then they also take courses, in the School of Design, or they also take, we have computer science students who have taken drama courses because we have an amazing drama program. So if you are that creative person, just know that I know Haiyi was talking a lot about the additional major and that people decide to take uh, HCI classes from all over the university. It goes both ways. You can have that really strong core in math, and be really interested also in the design side of things. Decide to major in HCI, and then take some electives in other creative schools and colleges within the university.
We have a question about what we look for to be admitted to SES, what Carnegie Mellon looks for. Um, I think I'll try and handle that one since I tend to talk with the Office of Admissions a lot. Well, certainly, I wish there were a particular formula, and in certain students we just get them in. But of course, we have a lot of people who apply to the School of Computer Science. Um, but things that they tend to look um, for the school itself, we look for students who are very strong in math and science because we don't necessarily know which one of the majors you're going to pursue, but they all require you to be able to handle abstraction, which is what you kind of get in math a lot, dealing with that more abstract ideas, and science in the sense of experimentation, right? And that applies to HCI also. So, the inquisitive mind, if you will. We look for students who have shown some leadership skills. We look for students who try to challenge themselves in high school, both academically and with activities outside of class. Since we have so many people trying to apply, we want to see who's going to fit in at Carnegie Mellon and kind of be, fit in with the culture and, the sort of the vibe of the campus. And every university's, got its own priorities in terms of the types of students that fit in well. So we look at that. The Carnegie Mellon as a whole looks for students, of course, that are going to represent the university well, right, in terms of their character, their values, their goals. We do say that if you do have some computing activities at your high school that you can take advantage of, that you should try to do that to get some exposure to what it means to do computation, whether it be robotics or HCI design or programming or whatever it happens to be. We know that not every high school has computer science or computing activities, but if there are some there, try to take advantage of something there and reflect on that. But certainly, math and science, whatever you can do that will continue to challenge you through your senior year, those are the things that are really important to us to see it. You have that curiosity, you have that intellectual depth. That's going to be important because it is a very rigorous program. Ashveen's nodding her head. It's a very rigorous program here compared to most, right? So you will continue to be challenged when you're here at CMU.
It looks like one more came in, Tom,
Yeah.
regarding the CMU additional information question. Any guidance on what to put there? I found my response to overlap a bit with other supplemental essays.
Um, I don't know if, well, not that I can't give you any clues or anything. It's, just do the best you can to answer those questions as honestly and deeply as you can, given the space you have, the amount of space you have. Um, the essays kind of give the folks who are reading them in the Office of Admissions, they give them a bit of insight into your thought processes, your character, your values, your goals. So that's kind of what you'll just have to think about and reflect. Our students who are here often, like even when they want to change majors, I ask them to write a reflective essay as to why they want to do that. And a few of them at first struggle, but then they don't. Like, but just think, because you have to actually think, and you have to kind of go deep inside yourself a little bit. And you're not going to write that essay the first time. You're going to write it and let it sit and look at it, and then write it again and adjust until it really reflects who you are. I'm always impressed when I read the reflection essays as to what they want to do, because I can see students really have thought more carefully about what their next steps are, as opposed to making a rash decision. So, and that's not answering it exactly the way probably you want it, because I know that it's important to try to get that essay just right. But there's lots of factors they factor in when they're looking at the applications, not just the essays. But a good question, certainly. If you have questions, by the way, on financial aid or other issues about the university and the logistics of the admissions process, you can contact the Office of Admissions. By the way, we don't have a representative here at the moment. There was one in my SCS talk that I did, which should be on their website. But you can always contact the Office of Admissions. They are the first and primary contact for you for just the admissions process. And if you have a specific question that deals with HCI or the School of Computer Science more technically, then they usually forward to us to make sure that we can get you an answer.
All right, Haiyi, yeah, thank you for putting. I was going to say I'll add the admissions email. You did it already. Thank you. Yeah, just as Tom said, if it's really focused on the admissions process, then it's best to contact admissions. If you have questions very specifically about the School of Computer Science and the majors, then that SCS first year email is your go-to. All right. Um,
We're about out at 1 hour.
wait, hang on. There was
One more question,
one
very
other
quickly.
question.
It's about early decision versus regular. Um, the only difference is for early decision, ideally, if this is the place you want to apply to and this is the only place you want to go to, if you're accepted, then you try early decision. Obviously, we don't accept everyone through early decision, but but if you have some options and you want to explore, then the regular decision is pretty much what you would do. So, because if you do get admitted through early decision, then we are expecting you to be here for the following fall, and we won't expect you to have any other paths kind of open that you're exploring that you want to come here, um, and that comes through with the essays and your goals as well.
Great. All right, thanks all. We are at time. And as I mentioned, feel free to follow up with us. And we hope to receive your admissions application. Oh, there's another one.
Mhm.
Do we want to? I hate to not address a question. I know we're at
No,
time.
we
Can
can we
everybody
can
stay on
address
for
it
another
quickly.
minute? Okay,
It's
great.
about specific labs and professors. You can write about that only in the sense that what it does is it shows the Office of Admissions that you've done some research about like what we're doing here at Carnegie Mellon, but mentioning the names doesn't necessarily give you any like bonus points or anything like that per se. But it does give us a sense that you've done some research, you kind of understand a little bit more about what we're doing here, and then they connect that with everything else that you supply to see if you still if it still makes sense for you to be a student here at CMU, given everything that you supply.
Great. All righty.
All right. Well, thank
Thanks
you for
all. Have
joining
a good
us.
evening.
Yes, thanks. And maybe we'll see you soon. Take care.
Should I end the webinar? I see that I can end it. But I
I'll
don't
stop.
want.
Well, I'll stop recording.
Okay.